So Filipino VAs can provide a compelling case by combining both tangible benefits like cost savings and intangible ones like cultural understanding and dedication. So, quick point. Um, you got to have good English if you want to work with American clients and pretty much any foreign clients. This is always a challenge. I get a lot of people that want to be a VA, but they're a little bit shy of speaking in English. And there's a disconnect there because most people around the world don't speak Tagalog or any other Filipino dialect, right? But pretty much anyone doing business online at least has some knowledge of English. And that's just a reality. And so you have to kind of adapt to the reality. And the reality is that for the most part, unless you do things that are very technical, like some video editors and graphic designers may not have the best English, but they understand what the client's saying so they can make sure they edit it correctly. Most people that do website designs or build funnels, they may not be the best people with English, but they understand enough English to make sure the content they're publishing on the websites is grammatically correct and everything's spelled right. So you got to have good English to be a successful Filipino virtual assistant. I just don't think there's any way around that. People will tell you otherwise. I disagree with them. And if your English isn't great, it limits your opportunities. It doesn't completely eliminate them, but it limits them. So if you're really not wanting to speak in English, and most of the English you're going to speak is actually going to be through chat or through email, occasionally on a Zoom or a Facebook Live or something like that with a client. But for the most part, once you get that interview done, you don't have to speak a lot of English necessarily face to face, but you got to do it through conversation. Basically, that just opens doors for you. It enhances your ability to deliver service and fosters stronger relationships when you can communicate in a common tongue. The other thing you could focus on that I think a lot of Filipino VAs undervalue is the unique cultural fit that Filipinos have with Americans. Philippines is the only country in Asia that speaks an American style English. Most people in other parts of Asia speak a British style of English or a very, very hard for Americans to understand style of English, like Indians and Pakistanis. Their English is really difficult for Americans to understand. Filipinos is natural because the U.S. and the Philippines have a very long history together, right? I don't want to go through, Philippine history 101, but, for over 100 years now, America's been a big influence in the Philippines. There's a lot of American businesses here. There's a lot of American entertainment here. So there's a connection that you can benefit from. So highlighting historical ties between the Philippines and the U.S. gives many Filipinos a unique understanding of American culture, making collaboration smoother. So this is something people could talk about, but they don't. And again, I've interviewed thousands of Filipino virtual assistants, and no one talks about this. I love working with Americans because, I love American movies. If you say something like that interview, people are going to go, oh, nice. Okay, what kind of movies do you like? All of a sudden, you're having a conversation. It's not just, here's my skills and here's my job requirement. Yes, do you meet the requirements, yes or no? It's like, wow, I like you. I think I could trust you with my business. I really want to know you better. I think we can work together and collaborate. All because you said one thing about loving American movies. So that cultural fit is a strength that you can play into when you're offering your value proposition. Filipinos get American culture. Use that to your advantage. Basically, the three things we'll talk about as far as value proposition is number one is cost effective, right? So the reality is, and this is not fair, this is just the way economics works. In the Philippines, if you make $4 an hour and you make that on a monthly basis, you're up to 32,000 pesos a month. That's a good salary, right? But $4 an hour is less than half what most Americans would have to pay for the same thing in American employees, right? So the minimum wage at the minimum in most parts of the US is like $8 an hour. In some parts of the US, it's like $15 an hour. So if you can do something really well and you can undercut the competition by being cheaper, then people are going to want to go for that. And this is why you see so much outsourcing to the Philippines, right? It's that cultural fit, it's that understanding the American style English, and it's cost. So you want to, again, be aware of what you're going to charge. You want to make sure you make a good living. Don't want to sell yourself cheap, right? Don't take jobs that say, can you work for $1 an hour? I mean, find something else. It's not worth it. But if you can get in that sweet spot where you're making $4+ an hour, and then eventually over time, you can make, $6, $7, $8, $9 an hour, and then get really good at something and start charging $10, $15 an hour, that's a path you have before you because you can provide a better talent for a cheaper price. It's just a reality. Use that to your advantage. Again, we talked about culture familiarity and English proficiency. This is something that, again, most Filipino VAs could play up in the interview process and do not, which I'm surprised because as an American, and I'm talking to a Filipino about working with American clients, I would like to see a little more, like, hey, let's have a conversation about what it is that interests you. Now, you don't have to like American movies or American TV shows or American music. You can be good as a Filipino virtual assistant doing your own thing. But if you have that conversation about understanding the culture better, it makes you more relatable. And a big reason people get jobs is because they're likable and they come across as trustworthy. When I'm looking at 10 applicants and all 10 applicants have the exact same level of skill, there's 10 video editors and I have to interview all 10 of those video editors, and all 10 of them have really good skills and really good experience. But there's one that I just vibed with during the interview. That's the one I'm going to hire. So offering a strong value proposition really is about vibing with your client or with your potential client. So when you're thinking about how to generate leads, you want to think about how you're coming across to those leads. Now, if you want to work with clients, to the most part, you have to have some kind of relationship to them. You got to relate to them, understand their business, understand their pain points, understand the world they live in so you can help them. Being a VA is very symbiotic with a client. There are definitely some jobs you can do that are just tasks. Just do the task, check off the box, whatever. Data entry, data encoding, some types of lead generation where you're just doing data mining. But for the most part, if you're going to work long term for a client and be successful, and they're going to pay you a good salary, they're going to refer more business to you. They're going to want to, have you be part of their life. You have to come across with that familiarity. You have to come across with that being likable and trustworthy. I'll talk about these things a lot. The two most important qualities a Filipino virtual assistant has is not their skills. It should be, but it's not. It's during the interview process. Are they likable? Do I want to work with them? And can I trust them? Are they trustworthy? Now, I don't mean you're going to cheat me, but when I'm a business owner and I'm hiring you to help my business, I got to trust you're going to do your best because I can't afford to fail. I'm a business owner. I'm not rich. Most business owners don't have a lot of money. Now, again, if you're working for a big company, that's different, right? If you're working for a big corporation that has lots of money, then that's one thing. But most small business owners aren't rich. That's a misconception a lot of Filipino virtual assistants, I think, have. It's even true here in the Philippines. I know a lot of entrepreneurs here in the Philippines, and they struggle. They've owned restaurants, they own different, types of retail businesses or e-commerce businesses, and they have a good lifestyle online, but behind the scenes, they're barely making it each month because small business is hard. So one thing you want to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out how you offer a good value proposition is, can you help somebody generate revenue? And lead generation is the most important part of generating revenue. Maybe follow-up is also equally important, but lead generation is super important. So the last thing that you can offer as far as your value proposition is the fact that you're flexible and dedicated. If you're going to work with American clients, you don't always have to work your entire shift during Philippine nighttime hours, but occasionally you will have to have meetings. You'll have to be online for events. You'll have to be able to respond to DMs. You'll have to do things that may require you to work at night. So this is something you have to accept. And a lot of Filipinos know this and have experienced this in the BPO industry, the call center industry, right? So it's nothing new, but you have to be willing to do that. And again, if you don't want to work those hours, then don't apply for jobs for the American clients for the most part. Look for Australian or New Zealand clients in New Zealand, that kind of stuff. They're closer. And be transparent. If you can't work certain hours and the job is work certain hours, then tell them and maybe have a conversation about that. Bring that up during the interview. Have a conversation about how flexible can you be, because they're going to think you're going to be very flexible. And it works both ways. You have to make sure the clients don't take advantage of you. One of the biggest pain points that I see Filipino VAs have is that clients think they're 24/7. And if they're only paying you for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, which is a typical starting level, you can't be available 24/7. They're not paying you for that. So you find this right balance, right? You find the good clients that understand what value you bring. And you find other clients like that. And you build your proposition of what you can offer based on who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and how that solves their pain. This makes sure that you can help them do things like lead generation. And again, everyone needs lead generation. So it's a good area to focus on. Next, talk about social media as a lead funnel. A lead gen funnel is a systematic process designed to attract, engage, and convert potential customers from initial awareness to the ultimate action of purchase. Now, most of you came to this meeting tonight. In fact, all of you probably through a lead funnel. A lead funnel can be as simple as you see something on social media and there's a link, and you go to that link and you fill out a form. That's a lead funnel. So the idea is that you want to gather contact information so you can follow up with them. Some of you actually signed up for this training today. Some of you maybe signed up for previous trainings and got a message saying, "Hey, come to this training." But the point is you entered a lead funnel, a very simple Google form off of a Facebook post, right? That's like the most basic type of funnel. There are a lot of funnels out there that you can build for yourself, and then you can use to help clients build them for their clients. My most successful lead funnel is actually my YouTube channel. So I post YouTube videos that have calls to action about do this or do that. And I get a lot of people that reach out to me saying, "Hey, I want a virtual assistant," or "Hey, I want to be a virtual assistant and I watched your video, so I want to learn more." So you want to figure out where's your best place to be able to build a funnel off of. A lot of clients that I work with and a lot of successful VAs that I know do Facebook ads to invite them to a webinar. So through targeted Facebook ads, users are drawn to a free webinar followed by emails that nurture them towards a purchase, right? So you see a Facebook ad, you click on it, it takes you to a lead of tool, you put in your contact information, and then you get emailed about upcoming events, upcoming projects, upcoming things you can work on. So as a virtual assistant, what is your funnel? Applying for jobs through websites like Indeed or Fiverr or Online Jobs PH is one way to look for work. But the best VAs don't need to do that. The best VAs set up funnels that when they start getting interest from clients, they can bring in more. The best VAs, the ones that are the rock stars out there in the Philippines that you see being influencers as virtual assistants, they have funnels. They do webinars. They have Facebook business pages they set up. They have YouTube channels. They have TikTok profiles where they're talking about their business and trying to attract clients. IG stories, calls to action, see my bio, allows people to engage on Instagram stories to be able to go to a landing page for example, a free skincare product with follow-up emails encouraging a purchase. This is what a lot of our clients do. Our most successful clients use IG because our most successful clients at Sonic VA are very IG heavy. They're very much into these beauty products and skin products and so forth. So that's our niche. And this is how we have our VAs learn how to be successful with these clients, is that we help them do things like make really good IG stories. Now you got to have some talent. You have some training, and you have to have a lot of self-training. But you can learn how to do good IG stories. So this is one of our top clients, Michelle Cunningham, right? And so she puts a lot of stories out there, a lot of posts that get a lot of traction, 50 plus, right? Hearts. If you look at her reels, she's getting 2,000 views, 2,000 views, right? So this is not like, Taylor Swift level stuff, but for a small business owner who's grown a business about being an expert in coaching other business owners, she's pretty successful. And so simple posts, simple stories that hit the target audience. So Michelle's lead generation, she knows what she's doing, right? She knows that her clients are like her, but need help growing their business. And so she does a lot of things that she's a mom, right? She's very girly in what she does. She loves makeup and beauty stuff, and she loves taking a lot of selfies. And so her social media is all about that. So these are examples of social media as a lead funnel. Another one, a very common one, is LinkedIn, right? So your LinkedIn profile as a business owner should be set up as a lead funnel. Now, by LinkedIn, connecting new entrepreneurs to virtual assistants, basically talks about our pricing, what we do. So I use LinkedIn as a lead funnel to attract new clients into Sonic VA. And of course, basically, if they want to get started, they just have to DM me. But again, these are examples of lead funnels. To create a lead funnel, you have to have a profile optimized and a content strategy. So create a professional profile with a clear bio, regularly post valuable content, showcasing your experience as a VA, your expertise as a VA, incorporating client testimonies, behind the scene insights, right? So you should have a Facebook business page as a VA. You should have a LinkedIn profile. You should have these things because they're free, and people will go look at them to make sure that you are legit. If you apply for a job through Online Jobs PH, and you get to be one of the finalists in the job for Sonic VA, I will go look for your social media, and I'll see what you post. And if everything you post is cute, fun, family stuff, but none of it talks about you being a virtual assistant, I'll go, okay. And then I'll look at somebody else who's got a Facebook business page set up as for their VA business, and they have, tips of the day, and they have like testimonials, and they have like great quotes. Which one do you think I'm going to hire? I love the fact that someone's posted about their family, but what I want to do is hire somebody who's going to help me with my business, right? So having your profile optimized on LinkedIn and on Facebook at the minimum. Create a professional profile with a clear bio. What do you do, right? So Dan Meyer, virtual staffing expert. What do I do? I'm a virtual staffing expert. Whether you have a outsource that you want to do for a company or for a small business, whether you want to hire a virtual assistant or a virtual worker, I can help you figure that out. If you're an American business owner, no matter how big your business is, and you want to find Filipino talent to help fill up your requirements, I can connect you. So you need to have that at the top of your funnel. This is what you do. You want to engage, network, and collaborate. Actively participate in relevant discussions, build relationships with potential clients and fellow VAs, explore collaborations with influencers, reach a wider audience. So again, just posting for jobs is only going to get you so far. To be really successful and generate good quality leads, you have to engage, network, and collaborate. You got to go look for your clients. You got to post in groups on Facebook that are VA groups. So clients are looking for VAs. They go to Facebook and they go to these groups, and they're looking for people that are posting. You got to be able to go on LinkedIn and join groups on LinkedIn. You want to follow people that you want to work for. If you want to work for someone like Michelle, you want to work for a small business owner who's a business coach, who does online sales, has a program, has a YouTube channel set up, offers people come into my course, sign up for my free workbook, and then you get like access to my back office. In this kind of language, you hear that kind of person. If you want to work for them, you want to like comment their stuff. Wow, I got your free workbook. It's really cool. Wow, I enjoy what you're doing. So, for example, when a Filipino virtual assistant makes it to the final round of interviews, and I'm interviewing them, I'll ask them, have they looked at our social media? Have they went and looked at, my YouTube channel or a Facebook page, or did they find us on IG? Because if they say yes, then okay, they were serious. They went and looked. But most people say no, right? They want a job, but they don't really want my job. They're not looking for a particular job. They don't know they want to work for me because I can help them find work with small business owners in the US. They don't want to work for me because we specialize in things like video editing, graphic design, social media, and lead generation. They just want a job. And that comes across when you ask questions like, hey, have you ever checked out my social media? What do you think? So you want to engage, network, and collaborate, participate, right? Find experts, see who they're like. I'll give you a tip right now. And if everyone does this, it's going to be a challenge, but go for it. If you look at someone like me, who's got a lot of American business owner connections, my Facebook friends list is open. You could go spam all my Facebook friends and send them a message saying like, hey, I'm a virtual assistant. Can I work with you? Now, you're probably going to get very low response rate. But if you're doing that and nobody else is, maybe you'll get lucky. Now, I don't encourage you to do that, because just trying to out of the blue randomly DM somebody and say, hey, hire me as a virtual assistant is the wrong way to go. But it's a point where you're trying to engage, network, and collaborate. Now, if you were to say, hey, Dan, do you have some friends of yours that I could talk to? Can we collaborate? If I get one of them to say, hey, yeah, I'm interested, then can we work together to bring them in? Because if you as a Filipino virtual assistant just go out there out of the blue, randomly say, hey, work for me, they're going to think, well, I get spammed every day by people who want to work for me. But if you're collaborating with me and you say, hey, I work with Dan Meyer, and let's get together in a three-way chat in a GC and see how we can work together, then all of a sudden I bring you credibility. I make that person feel like you're trustworthy and they want to like you because they like me. So that's an example again. Now, I'm not saying go out and do that, because if all you do that, it's not going to work. But that's the kind of thing you can do, right? Look for opportunities to collaborate with influencers to reach a wider audience. And then guided actions analysis and clear call to actions in posting to guide potential leads, right? So when I post things, there's usually a call to action in it. If there's not a call to action, it's trying to do something that's a subtle call to action. There are overt calls to action where you're saying, click here, sign up now, do this action. And there's subtle ones. If I have a lifestyle picture of me on my IG channel, saying, hey, look, Dan's in the Philippines, Dan's at a beach, Dan's like at Starbucks, got his feet up on the table, sitting back, having a coffee. How does he do that? Oh, because he's got virtual assistants. Oh, I want the lifestyle. I want to be able to go do what I want to do, go to Starbucks whenever I want, go to the beach whenever I want. So to grow my business, I got to find people that can work for me, and people that can work for me, like virtual staff, can help me grow a business. So you start seeing that subtle connectivity of why people post what they post. So everything you post in social media should have a call to action, whether it be an overt call to action or a subtle call to action. You want to utilize targeted social media advertising. Again, if you're a Filipino virtual assistant, you can sit back and wait for the job to come to you, which you're going to be waiting a lot, or you can go out and get it. And going out and getting it isn't just posting on job posting sites. It's using social media to build your own lead generation. The other thing that most people do not do is people don't track what they apply for. They don't have a strategy. They don't have any kind of metrics. They're not using analytics, any data analysis. Now, if I were you and I was looking for a job, every time I applied for a job, I would put it in a spreadsheet. I would build a tracker. Use a Google sheet and just say, okay, I talked to Dan Meyer on October 24th, and he had no openings. I'll follow up with him on November 24th. I'll follow up with him every month until he either hires me or tells me to stop. And that's okay if I tell you to stop, because I'm only one of millions. There are, I think last time I checked, something like 40 million American small business owners. So if you spam me too much and I tell you to stop, there's still, 29 million other ones out there you can go after. So you want to make sure you have clear calls to action. You want to make sure you post about what you do. You want to target your social media advertising. You want to look at your metrics. Look what's working, right? So LinkedIn may be better for you than Facebook. Facebook may be better than IG. You may find that you get more interviews through Online Jobs PH than you do through Indeed. You want to start thinking about this from a metric perspective. Because again, this helps with the client side. So once you get a job, and if you're working for a client doing lead generation, you bring the same structure to them. So if you can create a lead funnel for yourself, if you can have a point of entry where people notice you, and then they go through a process to work with you, you can do the same thing for clients. And if the clients are able to get leads and convert them to customers, then they'll keep paying you and you'll be successful. So I hope this helps. It's a lot of stuff. I know I'm throwing it out there, hoping that you can put most of it into a place where you can see how you will do this. But don't overcomplicate it. A lead funnel is simply set up a Facebook business page that has a link to a Google form that captures email addresses. And if people click on it and they want to learn more about how to hire you as their VA, make a simple lead funnel for that. At the top of your funnel, meaning on your social media, post tips and testimonials and strategies about why I'm a good VA and what I want to do for you and how I can solve your problems. Post that kind of stuff, share it with them, network with them, go onto their pages and comment with them, be proactive, be active. This is how you use a lead funnel. And this is what separates you from 90% of the Filipino VAs out there that are competing against you for the same jobs. Is you're actually trying to be proactive where they're just reactive. They send out they apply for a job, send their resume out, and hope they get an interview. You should still do that, but that's not the best way to go. The best VAs find their own clients. And once you find the good clients, then the clients refer more business to you. One of the great things about Sonic VA is that we spend almost no money on marketing because we get constant flow of new clients that are referrals from existing or former clients. And that's where you want to be in that sweet spot, where you're constantly getting new business, but you're not having to actually put a lot of energy into like attracting customers. And so when people say, hey, Dan, I work with Michelle, can I work with you? I put them into a lead tracker. I do follow up, right? So if we have a conversation, a text or an email, talk about, hey, yeah, I want a video editor. I need to be able to make videos for my YouTube channel, and then nothing happens. Well, I don't let it sit forever. I follow up a couple weeks later, a month later. I'll email them again or text them again saying, hey, just checking back in. Are you ready to get started? If not, no problem. We'll be here when you're ready. That kind of follow up is part of the bottom of the funnel. So whenever someone enters my funnel, into the Sonic VA funnel, I make sure that they're tracked and that we have a follow-up process. So I hope that helps. Let's move on to the last topic today, high quality content. By consistently producing content that resonates with the needs of American businesses and demonstrating expertise, a Filipino VA can effectively attract and build trust. So consistently producing content means you got to have a content calendar. A lot of the social media managers are pretty good at this. And you'll see them, especially on IG, where they create a lot of content and they use that content to demonstrate what they can do for clients. And by producing this content, it resonates with the needs of people who want to hire a social media manager and demonstrates expertise that builds trust, attracts them to you. You want to do attraction marketing, right? You want people to look at what you do and say, I need that. So as a VA, you want to make sure that you're producing high quality content for yourself, for your own business, because you got to have something to attract people to your funnel. So you have a funnel, you have a Facebook page, you have your LinkedIn profile, you have a link to a Google form, or you have them DM you and you want to put them in the tracker. You want to put them into some kind of tracking system. But this is how it works, right? So you produce content that then feeds your funnel. You want to make sure that you have thoroughly done market research to understand the needs and challenges and preferences of American businesses to tailor services and content to directly address their pain points. So a lot of American business owners are into trying to resell things, right? So secondhand clothes, pre-loved clothes, secondhand stuff, right? The best way to understand what's current is what's everyone buying, right? So what are the current things that are the most popular items on Amazon, Amazon.com? What are the things that people are talking about on Instagram? What are people wearing on the TikTok videos that go viral? Trying to understand, what people are buying will drive success when it comes to supporting clients that sell secondhand clothes or pre-loved clothes. Understanding the pain points that they may have, right? So you got to be cheap, you got to be quick, and you got to be accurate, right? So you want to make sure that someone says, hey, I want to buy the clothes. You get the order, you process it, you get paid, and you get it shipped. A VA can help in that process, right? So if I'm selling secondhand clothes and I get a lot of leads, then I got to follow up with each lead. I got to DM each person saying, oh, I saw that you liked our post about our sale for, great, secondhand shirts or blouses. And so the VA is the one that's actually going to send the DM because the client's too busy to do it themselves. And then you track it. You put it into a tracker and say, okay, so on October 24th, I reached out to this person. They didn't reply. So I'll try again on the 25th. And they didn't reply again. I'll give it a week. And then I'll try again on November 5th. And you're tracking it, right? So you're trying to figure out how to address the pain points of the client, which is they don't have time to do their own lead generation and tracking. So content creation distribution, share high quality content, relevant content like blogs, webinars, case studies on platforms frequented by American businesses, demonstrating your expertise and value you can bring to potential clients. Again, as a VA, if you set up your own Facebook business page, you're like 1 of 5%. 95% of the competition you're facing don't consistently create content themselves. They maybe do it for clients if it's a task they have to do, but they're not doing it to market themselves. They're not doing it to show their expertise. They're not showing it to demonstrate to the clients, this is why I should hire you and not somebody else. So demonstrating your expertise and value. If your value proposition is that you get American businesses, that you can work for $4 an hour, that you're flexible, that you're good at what you do, you're someone who's likable and trustworthy, and that you demonstrate that on your social media, they're going to go into your funnel, and then you're going to be able to land them as clients. That's how this works. It doesn't necessarily just be you applying for a job. You have to create your own ecosystem as a virtual assistant. This is what the best of the best do. Maybe you've heard of Tribex. Maybe you've heard of Philippine Virtual Assistant, FVA. Maybe you've heard of Surge. These are some names that are out there among Filipino virtual assisting communities that teach how to do these kind of things, teach how to present yourself. I teach a lot of content on how to make the right resume, how to nail your interview, how to have a killer resume, how to nail your job interview, how to make sure that you get paid, all these things, right? So there's a lot of content out there that talks about how you can be successful. Now you have to make your own content talking about how you're successful, right? So you are your own best marketer. And when you're looking for leads as a VA and you figure this out, then you offer that as a service to your clients. And this is the secret that I wanted to share with you today, is that you're not gonna be successful by just sitting there and applying for jobs. You've got to be able to generate your own leads. And once you do that, again, emphasizing the point, once you figured out how to generate your leads consistently and successfully, then you offer that as a client and you can get paid $10 an hour or more. You can get paid a lot more than that. If you can consistently help a client land leads on LinkedIn, if you can consistently help a client land leads through Facebook posts or IG stories or reels on TikTok, then they're going to pay you more than the minimum. They're going to pay you because you're helping them make money. And if a client's making money, they should be able to pay you more. And then when you get better and better at it, you get more referrals. And then you get your point where you're not having to do any marketing anymore. You're not having to go out and look for clients. They're just coming to you. A couple last things: high quality content tips, tailor content for American market needs, research American business challenges, and craft content like how-to guides and case studies directly addressing those needs. So as a Filipino virtual assistant, someone who spends a lot of time already on your own watching TikTok, I bet you can come up with 3 tips on how to make TikTok more viral. Think about everyone that you follow. Look at the people that you follow on TikTok and look who are the ones that have the most viral videos. Who are the ones that are getting the most comments and likes and shares? What are they doing? Look for commonalities. If you're following 1,000 people, look at the 10 most successful people you follow and what do they have in common? And write those down, put them into a post, make your own video about, you know what, I looked at TikTok and these are what I see are the 3 biggest trends right now on TikTok. If you do that, people are going to be like blown away because no one else is doing it. So you can create content based on what you have around you that creates how-to guides or tips or strategies, talks about case studies, directly addressing needs. If I'm an American business owner like Michelle, and I'm trying to attract more clients like her clients, and we know we're going to use TikTok to get their attention, I got to know what to do on TikTok. I want some idea of what kind of videos I should be creating. So my VA can help me by telling me what are the top trends right now. See how that works? You want to engage your diverse mediums? Use video, right? So again, Filipinos make a lot of videos. Like, this is the social media capital of the world. There are percentage-wise more Filipinos on Facebook than any other country, right? I know because every one of you have a Lola or a Lola who's on Facebook. They don't know how to use it very well. They send you all kinds of weird messages. They like things and they, friend you and forget how to, what to do next. But we're all on social media here. So engage through different platforms. Learn new things, right? Like, so Threads launched a few months ago, and there was a big opportunity for VAs that understood how to use Threads to offer that as a service to their clients. Hey, I'm managing your IG for you, and I saw that you don't have set up your Threads yet. I can set up your Threads for you, and I can manage it, monitor it, and post something once a day, and then follow up on any DMs you get. And they'll say, sure, yeah, I'll pay you like, $4 an hour, 4 hours a week to manage my Threads account. Engage in diverse mediums, actively participate on relevant platforms, be out there on the right parts of social media, be on LinkedIn, be on Facebook groups, post, share, comment, get attention, host a free webinar, right? So make a Facebook Live, turn it into a YouTube video, set up a YouTube channel, create content where you're showing your expertise and you will stand out. This is what the top Filipino VAs do. They create a lot of content. They have free webinars. They talk about what they do. And when they do that, they build trust and they build likability and they find clients. And the clients get attracted and come to them. So when it comes to lead generation, these are some examples of how you can create high quality content. And that's the top of the funnel. That's what drives people into your funnel. And then they go through the funnel process. You get the lead, you follow up on the lead. And then you figure out who you're trying to attract to your funnel by knowing what your niche is, understanding, who you are and who you want to work with. If you go back to what we talked about tonight, it's a process. And this process is know yourself, know your customers, figure out their pain points, offer value to them, get them to come to your funnel, and then keep them coming back to your funnel and keep attracting more people to your funnel by having high quality content. That's how you do lead generation. As a Filipino virtual assistant for yourself and as a virtual assistant working for clients. I hope that helped. That's really the bulk of my conversation tonight. I do want to share with you my YouTube channel, Dan Meyer, Virtual Staffing Expert. You go to YouTube, you type in Dan Meyer, you're going to see three. There's three real popular Dan Mayers on YouTube. One of them is a professional baseball player. That's not me. One of them is a sword swallower. Yeah, the guy swallows swords. And that's not me. And there's me, right? So Virtual Staffing Expert. I actually created a course back in May on lead generation. I think it's a 8-part video series about lead generation. Feel free to check that out. Please subscribe to our channel. And basically, that will help add more to what we talked about tonight. So I spent about an hour talking about lead generation. This is more content out there for you. That's pretty much it. So final thing to talk about, next steps, submit your updated resume to danmayer@sonicva.com. If you want to work with us, this is not an offer of a job. This is a chance for you to be in our pool of talent. Submit your updated resume. But it's not that simple. I don't just want your resume. If you're serious and you really want to work with us, if you want us to help you find clients, if you want to work with our clients doing, among other things, lead generation, you also have to include relevant social media links. I need to see your social media. I can't hire you if you're not on social media or if you're very private on your social media. I get it. Some people are private. I respect that. But our VAs have to be comfortable building their presence. And I want you to submit a 1-minute video, right? So when you send that resume to danmayer@sonicva.com, I want you to also record a quick video. Just take your phone out, hit record, talk into the camera about who you are and why you want to be with us. What do you do? What do you do that makes you different? What is your value proposition? And ideally, what do you do well and what do you think you can do for our clients? This is really what I want to hear. I want to hear that you know who you are and what you want to do. I want to know why you want to do it. I want to know it in 1 minute or less. All right. So you really have 1 minute to get this done. If it takes more than a minute, I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to get bored. I'm going to move on. I'm going to swipe left. I'm going to go to the next video. Just kidding. I'm not that harsh, but the point is you have to get my attention. If you can do this, if you can submit your resume, include your links and include a link to a video, then we will consider you, and most likely we'll do a screening interview with you. And then also, if you pass the screening interview with my team, then you'll be endorsed to me, and we'll have a conversation about how you can work with Sonic VA. That's the conversation for tonight. I hope this gave you guys some additional insights into what we do. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So just wrap this up real quick. Thanks a lot for being here. Looking forward to seeing you again on future webinars. You can always check out the YouTube channel if you have a need for more content. Thank you for your time. Now get out there and have a great rest of your day.